In the heart of Africa, amidst a verdant landscape of rolling hills and sprawling forests, lay the village of Umofya. The village was a tapestry of vibrant greens and earthy browns, alive with the sounds of laughter, drumbeats, and the chatter of its close-knit community. It was here, in this idyllic setting, that Amanda lived, a young woman whose beauty was matched only by her kindness and inner strength. Amanda, in her early 20s, was celebrated in the village not only for her striking features but also for her warm heart. Her days were spent helping her neighbors, participating in community gatherings, and dreaming of a future filled with love and happiness. Her life seemed destined for joy, particularly with her deep affection for Patrick, a man known throughout Umofya for his integrity and gentle demeanor. Patrick was a hardworking individual, his days spent tilling the soil and crafting intricate woodwork. His love for Amanda was evident in every gesture, every smile, and every moment they shared. The two were inseparable, their bond a symbol of true love and partnership in the village. Despite their deep connection, Amanda's relationship with Patrick was not without its challenges. Her mother, Mama Ikin, held traditional values that often clashed with Amanda's modern outlook. Mama Ikin was a woman of stern principles, believing that a stable and prosperous future required a match that met her high standards. To her, Patrick did not fit this mold. The disapproval from Mama Ikin created a chasm between mother and daughter. Arguments became frequent, with Mama Ikin condemning Amanda's choice and insisting that a more suitable suitor could provide a secure life. Amanda, however, stood firm in her love for Patrick. Her determination to marry him was unwavering, despite the emotional cost of defying her mother's wishes. The tension reached a peak when Amanda and Patrick decided to marry. The wedding was a simple yet joyous occasion, attended by the villagers who offered their heartfelt blessings. The ceremony was marked by traditional attire, rhythmic drum beats, and an outpouring of love from the community. The celebration, however, was a fleeting moment of happiness. Barely had the couple begun their new life together when disaster struck. A fierce storm swept through Umofya, its fury destroying homes and businesses alike. Patrick's modest home and his small business were obliterated, leaving the newlyweds in a state of dire poverty. The once vibrant hope for their future was now clouded by the heavy rain and the devastation it left in its wake. Undeterred by the misfortune, Patrick made a difficult decision. He would leave for the city in search of better opportunities, a decision that was both hopeful and heartbreaking. He promised Amanda that their separation would be temporary and that their love would endure the distance. With a heavy heart, Amanda bid him farewell, clinging to the hope that their future would be brighter. The city was a world apart from the serene village of Umofya. It was bustling, noisy, and filled with opportunities that Patrick hoped would secure a better future for him and Amanda. He quickly found employment as a driver for Vera, a wealthy woman known for her influence and commanding presence. Vera was the daughter of a wealthy businessman, inheriting both his fortune and his legacy. She was accustomed to the luxuries of life and had a reputation for her sharp wit and determined nature. Patrick's charm and integrity caught Vera's attention, and their professional relationship soon took a more personal turn. As their interactions grew more frequent, Vera's allure became impossible for Patrick to ignore. Caught up in the opulence and sophistication of his new environment, Patrick's feelings for Amanda began to wane. The city's glamour and Vera's seductive nature drew him further away from his humble beginnings and the vows he had made to his wife. Back in Umofya, Amanda's hope began to erode with each passing letter from Patrick. The once frequent correspondence had dwindled, and the promises of a reunion seemed more distant with every day. The villagers, who had initially supported Amanda, began to whisper and express their concern over her prolonged wait and deteriorating situation. Determined to find her husband, Amanda decided to travel to the city. However, the journey was a formidable challenge, both financially and emotionally. With no means to make the trip, Amanda was faced with a dire choice. Mr. Obi, a wealthy and influential man in the village, offered to provide her with the necessary funds to travel, but his offer came with a price. Mr. Obi was known for his manipulative and cunning nature, often using his wealth to exploit those in need. Desperate and with no other options, Amanda reluctantly agreed to his terms. The encounter was deeply troubling, leaving Amanda feeling violated and ashamed, but it secured her transport to the city. Upon arriving in the city, Amanda was overwhelmed by the stark contrast between its grandeur and the simplicity of her village. She navigated the unfamiliar streets and towering buildings with a mixture of awe and anxiety. Eventually, she found Patrick's address and made her way to the mansion where he now lived. The sight of Amanda at his doorstep was a shock to Patrick. He was overwhelmed with guilt and fear at the sight of his neglected wife. Desperate to keep his new life with Vera a secret, Patrick begged Amanda to agree to pose as a maid in Vera's household. Though heartbroken, Amanda agreed, willing to endure the pain of living a lie to stay close to her husband. Amanda's days were now spent working as a maid in Vera's opulent home. Every interaction with Patrick was fraught with emotional turmoil, as she silently suffered while witnessing him live a life of luxury with another woman. One afternoon, Amanda began to feel unwell. Dizziness and nausea prompted a visit to a doctor, who confirmed that Amanda was 3 months pregnant. The news sent Patrick into a state of panic. The timeline of Amanda's pregnancy raised suspicions, and tension quickly escalated between them. An argument erupted, during which Vera, who had been eavesdropping, overheard the entire conversation. The revelation of Patrick's deceit and Amanda's condition shattered Vera's trust. Enraged and feeling betrayed, Vera threw both Amanda and Patrick out of her home, stripping them of their newfound wealth and status. With their lives in ruins, Patrick and Amanda returned to Umofya. The journey was arduous and filled with a sense of defeat. Amanda, now pregnant and struggling with the emotional fallout of her experiences, sought solace in her old home. The village, though sympathetic, saw Amanda's return as a dramatic fall from grace. Upon returning, Amanda confided in Mr. Obi about her pregnancy and her misfortunes. Seeing an opportunity to further manipulate the situation, Mr. Obi proposed marriage. Faced with few options and the need for security for herself and her unborn child, Amanda reluctantly agreed. Despite the unconventional and troubling circumstances of their union, Amanda and Mr. Obi began to build a life together. Mr. Obi's wealth provided stability, and Amanda's resilience helped create a warm and nurturing environment for their children. The couple's relationship, though rooted in a troubled beginning, gradually found its own rhythm and contentment. Patrick's life took a drastic turn after being cast out by Vera. He found himself wandering the city, a mere shadow of his former self. His wealth and status were gone, and he grappled with the consequences of his actions and the loss of his family. The memory of Amanda, filled with love and pain, haunted him as he struggled to find a purpose in his diminished circumstances. Patrick's journey was one of reflection and regret. He faced the harsh reality of his choices, realizing too late the value of what he had lost. His once bright future was now marred by a series of mistakes and misjudgments. Years passed, and Amanda's life in Umofya gradually found a semblance of peace. Her children grew up in a loving home, and despite the unconventional beginning, Amanda found fulfillment and purpose in her new life. The village of Umofya remained a sanctuary, and Amanda's story became a poignant lesson in resilience and redemption. Amanda often reflected on her journey, her life marked by pain and perseverance. The experiences she endured had shaped her into a figure of strength and compassion. Her tale served as a reminder of the complexities of human nature, the consequences of greed and betrayal, and the power of love and resilience. In the end, Amanda's story was not just about the trials she faced but also about her ability to overcome them and find a path to happiness. Her life, intertwined with themes of betrayal, ungratefulness, and cunning, highlighted the importance of staying true to oneself and the enduring nature of the human spirit.